Just thought I'd do this podcast thing because quite a few people have asked me throughout my life and throughout this book stuff, especially at the talks with the social workers and that, they would say, wasn't you scared living on the streets at that age? And for those that don't know, I was sleeping rough from 10, but living on the streets of London as a beggar from 13, but I've been there from 11, coming on 12. And when I first started running away, about 10 years old, I was scared then, because everything was quite abstract actually, it was all new. So I was going to towns in Staffordshire and I was quite skittish. I'd always, whenever I'd see cars, unless I wanted to hitchhike a lift, whenever I'd see cars, I'd, get out of sight basically, mainly because in case it was the police. But then that fear of people went as soon as I started living in Whitechapel from the age of 12 and hanging around with Joanne, who was a 13-year-old runaway. She knew everyone, quite streetwise for her age. And from then on, I think I remember being scared that first night when she went off the scene. She went into the secure unit. She did. So I was on my own. And that first night, I slept rough in Aldgate. That was scary. I was right on the side of Brick Lane, and Whitechapel High Street as well that night. I think I moved spots. I got a couple of hours sleep here and there. But then it was after I got kidnapped and I started to run off to Victoria. I started sleeping on the steps of the Apollo Theatre at 13. I just got used to it then. Just all my fears went, really. I wasn't scared of anyone. But I thought I wasn't scared, but I think in my own way I was. You just don't think you are, but you still display the same things, you still stay on guard, you're still wary, you still have to be ready for anything. So although I wasn't consciously scared, I think in many different aspects I was. So I've always said to people, no, I wasn't scared. Because you're not really when you're a kid. You're a bit naive. Sometimes you haven't got them same things to be scared of because you haven't heard enough stories or you haven't had them things happen to you yet. And, after every unfortunate event that was going on, I guess I was learning each time. But to do it all now, at the age of 33, I'd crumble within days if I had to do it all again. Oh, maybe I wouldn't, I've been through it, but it's nice to think I was still hardcore, but it gets emotional when you're older, and when you're a young person and you're doing all that, you're not really so much connected with your feelings, are you? And you haven't really got as much time to focus on your feelings, whether you're a child or an adult living on the streets, in fact, because you're spending so much of your energy on batting that away, putting that aside, and because if you do start thinking things are hard or still do start analysing why things are going so difficult sometimes in your life, you crumble, it's hard to explain. You haven't got time to get down about things when you're just busy trying to survive, and it applies in all parts of life really, and it applies on the streets, You learn to gradually be wary. I was never too scared as soon as I got past the age of 13. It's the same for a lot of people out there. It's just the way it is living on the streets as a child runaway. I think the points where I was most scared was when I got ripped off for some weed, and it was actually a bit of basil. I didn't have a lot of money on me, and so what I tried doing was reselling it on in the West End. The first person that I tried reselling it onto had me up by the throat with a flick knife in the doorway, and I didn't really bother doing that again. I was only 13, maybe 14, something. This geezer was like 20, late 20s, mid to late 20s or whatever. I guess that was a scary moment, but most of what I was scared of really was just being caught by the police. I guess that's the mindset you're in when you're that young person and you're invincible. You know, it's not the same as you get older, like I said. You know, 'cause you know more about the world. But yeah, my main fears was really getting caught, which is why I did all sorts of things, like speaking with fake names and accents and all that. But I think when I got to about 14, I kind of thought to myself, I'm not getting caught here. You know, I'm walking around West End all day and all night. I'm living as an homeless adult. Everyone's just believing I'm this adult. Just tell people I'm 17, 18. Everyone's just buying it, man. So all my fears kind of went then. I kind of just said to myself, right, I'm just waiting for the day till I'm 16 and do what I want. So yeah, all my fears kind of left by the age of 14. That's how it is. It all catches up with you though, and it gets confusing. So if you are a young person and you happen to hear this and you ever think about running away, just understand that no matter how invincible you think you are when you're a young person and what you go through, you've got to stay strong, but just be careful, man. Don't put yourself in a situation you don't need to get into, because it will catch up with you, and it's a head wreck sometimes, and you'll need a lot of healing to get through it. So you're better off in a nice environment that's looking out for you, you know. You can have a chaotic mind, I guess, when you're that young person and not know what's best for you, and everyone, you think you know what's best for you, but if only in hindsight I'd stayed in some of them stable environments I was at and stayed with families. So I was a couple of times when I was the one that really messed up my chances. I had a lovely set of foster parents called Dan and Ted, and I could have stayed with them, and instead, because I kept running away so often, in the end I felt guilty, I guess. They didn't make me feel guilty, I felt guilty. And so I didn't go back there, I went back to the children's home instead. That's one of the biggest regrets I've ever had, really. So yeah, I'm drifting off topic a little bit here, and I was talking about, is it scary living on the streets as a child? And yeah, it is at first, and then you get used to it, but that's not doing it all without going through a heap of crap and becoming quite traumatised and affected by it, and catches up with you in your older life, and you got to get through a lot. You got a bigger fight to take on then. So once you get through it, you get through that. You know, you don't stay the same forever, and you know, if you have to go through that, I guess once you've dealt with it, you end up a bit stronger. But there's no point going through that if you don't need to. So if you find yourself in a good environment, whether it's, you know, if you're not getting on with your family, and you find yourself quite lucky to be with you know, if your nan's got you or your auntie's got you, or you got a foster home that's quite stable and what's good for you, just stay there, man. You know. But also this podcast is for people to understand a bit more about runaways, and it's all in my book anyway, Poems from a Runaway. Loads of it, 60 stories in there. And yeah, check it out at benwestwooduk.blogspot.co.uk. It's available on Amazon in paperback, and it's an ebook. And you can find me on Twitter and on Facebook. All the best. Take care, man.